Hi, I'm Clear Sausage, and I made this video, but my intention wasn't to put it up on YouTube. It was basically created for when I get religious people from the many denominations like Jehovah Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, or just your common Christian fundamentalist knock on your door, you open it up and there's this person or a couple of people standing there with the Bible in their hand, and they say, "Hello, I'd like to talk to you about God. Can I talk to you about God?" I think, well, I'm a polite person. I'll listen to what they have to say. I'm not rude. So they say, "Do you believe in God? Do you believe that Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice? He died on the cross and shed his blood for you, and so you live for all eternity, and don't go to hell and get a poker up your bum, tortured for all eternity, and burn, and if you accept and believe in him, you get a reward, eternal life, and then you get a mansion made out of gold and all the food you can eat, 72 virgins and all the grapes in the world, in the universe, endless supply, this sort of stuff." And then you go, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I believe in that, yeah, okay, oh okay." So they latch on, they go, "Oh, we'd like to invite you to church, right? Give us your name and your number, and we'll pick you up on Sunday, right?" Okay, so Sunday rolls around, they pick you up for sure, take you to the church. You're sitting there amongst all these devotees, all these Christians, right? It might be a charismatic church, and you see a few people like running around, like chickens acting like chickens with their heads cut off, and then there's this music playing, piano, organ, a band, whatever, and eventually the minister steps up and he opens the Bible and he gives this half hour to an hour, maybe 2 hours soon, right, quoting from this Bible, these 2,000-year-old scriptures, right? He's talking about Jesus, the disciples, and all the little stories in there, right? And how you're a dirty, rotten sinner and you're destined for hell and all this sort of stuff, burn, or torture forever and ever. But you can have like this free gift of salvation, stuff like that, right? So he keeps pressing that you're a dirty, rotten sinner. You deserve God's wrath, or whatever. So maybe something stirs inside you because it sounds like, "Oh, that's me." The truth's hitting you. In your soul, or whatever, the spirit. So you go, "Oh yeah, okay, that's me. I'm a dirty rotten sinner." Right? So at the end of a sermon, he makes an altar call, which means that you can go out there and commit your life to Christ and be saved and have eternal life and sins forgiven and all that stuff, and become a member of that church, right? But he'll say to you, like, it's a public declaration, basically. Yeah, everybody sees, "Oh yeah, he became a Christian, whatever." And then you become a member of that church. But first you've got to accept and believe that he died for you and all that stuff, right? Okay, it's part of the dogma, the ritual. To be a Christian, that's what you have to do, right? It's part of the game. So you're happy, and then you go back and you go back to that church every Sunday. Maybe they come and they annoy you. They force you to go there. They pick you up by picking you up, right? And you learn all this stuff. You hear the sermons all the time. Sermon. Christians quoting you the Bible, in that environment. So it goes back in. It's stuck in your subconscious mind, there, right? Stored there. So one day you realise, "Oh, I better go out and save a dirty, rotten sinner. The world. I need to save some souls for Jesus." Or whatever. So you think you know the Bible, you think you've read all the Bible, you know everything that's written in it, we assume you do, you probably don't, right? So you rush to go save some souls, save some dirty, rotten sinners, right? So you approach people with the Bible and you ask them similar questions like, "Do you believe in God, do you believe in Jesus," or whatever, and then try and invite them to church, right? And then when they go to that church and they hear all the same stuff that you did, within they repeat the process. Okay, they hear all this, goes in the back of their mind as it did for you, right? And then they think that they know everything. the Bible or whatever. They got to go save some dirty rotten sinners, right? So they go out there and they duplicate the process that you went through, right? Quoting by rote, parroting all that they've heard, right? So I come to this conclusion. I had this epiphany. Right? I remember watching this movie, right? And the segment in it made me think and realise, hey, that's, you know, and that is, let's see, okay, this movie here, okay, I'll make it a short clip because nobody wants to watch a 2-hour clip. Yeah, from this movie, Men in Black, 1997. There's an autopsy on a I believe to be a 7-foot alien, right? They open him up, or it opens it up. His head opens up, and
belt.
There's this
Orion's belt.
Little alien in there, right? There's a little alien inside the big alien. In his head, right. So he's pulling the levers. He's operating that big alien. Right? He's controlling him. Yeah, he's the operator, right? So I thought, well, hey, I see a similarity. This is the pastor, the pastor at the church, telling you all this Bible verses, whatever you know, scriptures, stories, whatever, pumping it inside your head, stored in your subconscious, right? Your subconscious mind, and you go out and parrot it, yeah. Because to me, this is a fact. This is a fact, right? Up in here, you no longer live in here. It's not you anymore, right? It's something or someone else living inside your head. Okay, who would that be? The pastor in his scriptures, right? So he's the little alien living inside your head, pulling your levers, right? Controlling your brain. You know, he's programmed you. You understand? Okay. So yeah, I come to realise that. I come to realise that these Christians always come to me and say, "We are the true church, the Church of God. We are the chosen. We have the scriptures. You know, our founder was visited by an angel. God spoke to him directly, or whatever, you know, and then founded our church and la la la. We have the truth. We have the real truth." And yeah, they'll say, you know, these are the actual words of God, come down from God through the Old Testament prophets, the apostles, in the New Testament, the disciples, the apostles, right, from Jesus Christ himself, you know, and somebody translated it from the Hebrew into the Greek, right? But there's a problem here. Like Barty Uman on his video says, we don't have original manuscripts. There are no original manuscripts. We don't have complete translations of the Hebrew into Greek, because it all came from the Greek, is what he says, right? It didn't come from anywhere else, but it just came from the Greek. It was all in Greek. And many Christians out there that I've known told me, no, it wasn't Hebrew, it wasn't Aramaic, it's all Greek. Jesus spoke Greek, and all this hearsay, right? And Bart Ehrman, on his videos, he says you don't have original manuscripts, you have copies of copies of copies of copies of copies of copies. These modern Americanized versions, revisions, right? Translations, interpolations, right? Revised, heavily edited, right? Some bits added, lots taken away. Of late, you've got the supposed New World Order Bibles that have replaced passages where it says it's time for a new day to it's time for a new world order, eh? According to Stephen Anderson, Michael Hoffman in their videos, rants, right? That the new world order, the Illuminati's put out these new satanic bogus versions. Anyway, so you got these like NIV, ESV, OSV, SPCA, whatever, different versions that Christians quote from. Often quote what I wrote on Christian chat sites. You put them all side by side and you look at it, and you'll notice that they're all saying something that appears to be similar, but they're actually like all saying something different. It's a matter of translation and interpretation. Okay, so so what I did was, I thought, well, I'm a truth seeker. I need to know the real truth. Do these people have the real truth? Right. So there's some questions that they couldn't answer. Right. So I eventually left those churches, or that church that I was around. Okay. Because one of their dictates is, and I've read this as well from different sources, you are not allowed to think. You are not allowed to think. It's a no-no. You are not allowed to question. Right? You're not allowed to question them. Right? But with me, like the what's his name? Grasshopper of that Kung Fu TV series, he says, I have not come to answer all the questions, but to question all the answers. See, because I'm a truth seeker again, right? I'm looking for the real truth. Okay. So they're saying to me, we have the truth. Everyone else has got the lie, we got the truth, all that sort of stuff. But I question, right, do they really have the real truth? If all they have is copies of copies of copies, right? So at home, having that time to think and do my own research, my own personal research, study, whatever, to find the real truth, the facts, establish the facts, look at the evidence, prove, the proofs, okay, and come to a conclusion, right? I came across this website by a native-born Mesopotamian who speaks a modern Aramaic vernacular, because the old Aramaic is a dead language. But this guy, Victor Alexander, who translated this supposedly ancient language into English through his Aramaic New Testament, was saying that he had a website up, right? So I stumbled upon it one day by accident, right? So I'm looking at it and I see this on this website, this page saying the theory of the Aborigines, and I read a bit of it, and you're saying, I'm not saying the Australian Aborigines, I'm using the term Aborigines in relation to Neanderthal man, because when he translated the Old Testament, right, he was doing it from using the Syriac to into English, right, and priests from the supposed original Apostolic Orthodox Catholic Church of the East in Turkey or wherever, walked past and says, "Oh, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm translating the ancient Syriac text into English," and he's going to use a modern Bible as reference, but then decided against it. And also, he wouldn't add his own flavour, own twist or bias to it, right? Because he says these modern versions are very biased towards Jews. Okay. So this priest goes away and he's translating, and then the priest happens to go past again or something, and he says, "What are you doing now?" And he goes, "I've just completed translation from the Syriac into English." He goes, "Why the hell would you do that?" And I questioned him, and he says, "Because originally it was in Assyrian Aramaic." So poor old Victor goes, "Oh my goodness, I just completed it, I have to do it all over again," which he's been doing for the last few years. Unfortunately, his site's down. Anyway, he was saying on that site that when he translated the ancient Assyrian Aramaic or Assyrian, book of Genesis or Bereshit into English, right? He discovered, to his shock, that it spoke of a pre-Adamic man or Neanderthal man, right? Yeah, so it agreed with the archaeological and the scientific discoveries, the bones and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. So yeah. So, but he was professing that he, as a translator, got hold of these original manuscripts in the original Assyrian or Assyrian Aramaic, compiled into a book around 800 BC in Edessa, right? And then the Galilean Aramaic of the 4th century, written down by Thomas the disciple when the Church of Jerusalem, the Church in Jerusalem, was destroyed. Right? He took those manuscripts he supposedly got from this original Apostolic Orthodox Catholic Church that Thomas had founded in Turkey around about the 4th, 5th century. Yeah, translated into English. Okay, he is saying that this church founded by Thomas had been given these manuscripts by Thomas. You can go to AramaicsScriptures.com, and a Christian Jew, Messianic Jew by the name of Andrew Gabriel Roth has a website up there, and he's translated the Syriac Peshitta into English. Okay, it's slightly different from Victor Alexander's translation because he's using the Syriac, not the Assyrian Aramaic or Assyrian. Okay, these two guys have never met, right? As far as I know, but they both had websites, one of the Assyrian Aramaic or Assyrian and one of the Syriac. Okay, so you can go there and look at it because it's got partially Syriac and then English, you know. Well, just go there and visit AramaicsScriptures.com. Alright, okay, and on there say Shimon or something like that, the head patriarch of that church in 1957, states on there that they got it, they're the original manuscripts given by the disciples, Thomas, Jude, whoever, to that church, right? And they had them, preserved them, and they testified that they are the originals. They haven't been messed with or anything like that. They are the original copies, right? Andrew Gabriel Roth also testifies or attests that they're the originals, you know, as well as Victor Alexander. So there you've got 3 people that don't know each other, they've never met each other, right? But they're doing the same work, using the same supposed ancient manuscripts, right? So that's how you establish a fact. If they synchronize, right, then they've established a fact. The facts as facts, right? Okay. So yeah, yeah. So I kept researching, you know, and I went back to the original source. I have a book here called Timetables of History. The Timetables of History, the new 3rd revised edition by a man called Bernard Gruen, based upon Werner Stein's Culture Fahrplan. It's basically a timetable of history and the chronology of the origins of civilization and stuff like that. And it's basically it's saying to you the first civilization about 4000 BCE to 3501, end of Paleolithic, 3000 to 4000 BCE, 3000 to 4000 BCE, 4000 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 to 40 Paleolithic period along Mediterranean coastline. That's the Stone Age. And then the Sumerians settled on the side of the city of Babylon. Right? Babylon influences predominant in Mediterranean regions of Asia to -2000. Sumerian writing done on clay tablets shows about 2000 pictographic signs, earliest Babylonian omen tablets, and goes on from there. Right? Okay, and down here it's got Semitic tribes occupy Assyria in the northern part of the plain of Shinar and Akkad, right, or Sumer. Well, you've got the Genesis account that, you know, all men ended up in the desert region of Shinar or Sumer and built this Tower of the Babel, right? Tower of Babel to try and reach God and all this sort of stuff, and they toppled it or something, and then they all dispersed and they spoke different languages, couldn't understand each other and spoke different languages, and off they went, right? And then you get the Sumerians, the Akkadians, and the Babylonians. Then you've got like Egypt and all that followed after, right? And it goes on from there right up to certain history date, right? I don't know what the last date is in the book, but it's not really important. But yeah, there's a video on YouTube, like the Hermetica or something like that, and the guy is saying basically the same thing as that book, right? Same sort of timeline. And I made a comment to him, well, you know, hey, that sounds similar to this book, the Timetables of History. He goes, yeah, well, that's based around that, you know. So, kudos. Yeah, so I kept studying, right? The Assyrian, the Sumerian, the Assyrian, the Akkadian, Babylonian, right? And I've come across different scholars, professors who have those qualifications, you know, and they're renowned, and they're stated that they're the experts, right? They're qualified, they know better than me or you, okay, basically. I found one called Irving Finkel, I think that's his name, because when you go to church, like, you have these churches telling you, this is the story of Noah, and Noah had this pretty ark, and these giraffes used to hang out the window. Look at this book. This is what it looks like, you know. And the Bible is true. It describes this ark, and this is what it looks like. Sometimes they have it's like a kid's book. They show a kid, and the kid believes it. The kid, you know, they're not mature. His mind's not mature, and you feed them a dose of Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy and all that, and they believe it because they live in that sort of world of imagination, right? But you present that to an adult, you're convincing an adult that the Bible is true, and this is what the ark looks like, and all the animals fitted in there. You know, they all walked from Australia, New Zealand, whatever, and they hopped on this boat, right? They walked across all the oceans, you know, where in reality the world was what was known to those people at the time. It could have been like just the Mesopotamian region, because no one had really gone out and explored and found Rome or, you know, Africa or something like that. Yeah. So they were limited to the understanding of what the world actually was. Anyway, yeah. So this Irving Finkel guy. Okay, I've got a link here to a YouTube video of this guy and to what he discovered in regards to this Noah Ark claim. Bear with me a minute, I'll just find it, if I can find it. Okay, where is it? Okay. Can't seem to find it on here. I can't find it. sure I had it on there. Okay, Irving Finkel, The Ark for Noah, A Great Adventure. Right, this is the video here.
Because I haven't been here.
The churches are telling you that this ark, right, according to their scriptures, looks like this. It's got giraffes hanging out, whatever. Right? But this Finkel apparently looked at the ancient Babylonian cuneiform tablets and found a different account details. Right? Basically, he says in the video, you can watch it yourself later on, that the gods, according to the Smith, the gods commissioned this guy because the gods are going to destroy the world and all the humanity they created because they cheesed them off or something, according to this old flood myth, the deluge, right? So this god says, I love humans, one of these gods. She's built this boat, whatever this guy's name was, right? It wasn't called Noah, it's called like Impetus or some funny name like that. So he gets told to build this ark to save humanity, right? Whoever he can save. Okay? So these Christians are telling you that this is the ark, whereas the Babylonian text so many thousand years older than those Hebrew texts, right? Describes, it gives the guy instructions how to build a boat, right? So he goes and this guy follows those instructions and he builds that ark, right? And this is what it looked like. Here we go. It's round. It's not the pretty picture you learned at Sunday school. They're telling you a load of rubbish. Okay, either the Babylonian cuneiform texts are forgeries, it's all bullcrap, or they're for real. Okay, let the evidence prove itself. But according to this old fella, this guy who knows what he's talking about, he's professional, he's the expert, he got all the qualifications that I can only dream of. He was in on this project, and this is how they built it according to the instructions. It's round. It's round. It's not. Is that a pretty picture? So somebody's lying to you. They've fooled you, But what I see is that, okay, you got those old Sumerian myths, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Great Flood, all that sort of stuff. Mesopotamian records, historical records, state that there was a flood, but in the region of Mesopotamia. Even in this timetable here, it says here somewhere that there was a flood, but in the regions of Mesopotamia. Historical records of Mesopotamia say that there was a flood, but only in that region, not a global flood. So I believe that, I've come to the conclusion that the melting of the ice age, like science says, right, it melted because people were trying to go across the Bering Strait. There's that landmass there, like a bridge they could walk across, but it was blocked off by the ice. So when the polar ice caps melted, the ice age, then they were able to walk across and get to Alaska, you know, say wherever they come from, Europe, right, go across this like a bridge to this other place, right? And you know, other people like black people from Africa sailed down to Yucatan apparently, and then they migrated up to what's now called Mexico, which originally wasn't called Mexico, because these people created that country, right? They called it Mexico, right? If you know Spanish, you know it's not Mexico, it's Mexico, because apparently these people had a name similar to that. You have to go watch what's his name, Dr. Ali Muhammad, yeah, and he tells you about that, you know, because he's supposed to be have a doctorate and all this sort of stuff and be a scholar, and and he's a Muslim or whatever, and he knows all this stuff, and he's, you know, he knows better than everybody else, all that sort of stuff. He's got a big ego, but he'll basically tell you that these people, that he went to that area in the Yucatan or whatever, and he met these people. They were African and they still had afros, you know, and they were giving them the history of that the black people sailed there, then they moved up from the Yucatan to Mexico, you know. Yeah, so so somebody is fooling you, someone's pulling the wool over your eyes, you know. It's like the Matrix. He's saying the world where the world that's been pulled over your eyes, you know. You've been dumbed, you've been tricked, deceived. Okay, so yeah. So as I said, the thing was round. Okay, it was round. Okay, so back to this Aramaic New Testament, right? If this is really the original, from the original Assyrian Aramaic manuscripts from the original Church of the East, and this guy isn't lying, right? He's 100% telling the truth, and this proof's infallible and irrefutable, right? Historically, etc., etc. Then what the hell is this? Right? Why is this the original different? Why is this different to the original? Why are they telling you that that ark, it was a pretty picture like this, you know? It was a pretty looking thing in a book that looked like this, when it didn't. It looked like what they call a coracle, you know. Why the lies? It's time to stop the lies, stop the bullcrap, the hype, the fluff, you know, all that crap, basically, you know, all the BS. Tell the truth. So basically, I make this video to reveal that truth, what I've discovered. Okay, like the supposed original Sumerian myth epic of Gilgamesh, right? They, supposedly this king who existed, in real life he existed, and a legion was created around him, possibly because he was such a great dude, right? Everybody loved him. Apparently he was the strongest, you know, toughest and whatever in his kingdom, and, you know, could beat anyone. He heard about this wild man off in the forest with the animals and all this sort of stuff, and he heard he was pretty strong and tough and whatever. So he said, oh yeah, okay, I'd like to battle with that fella, I'd go with that fella. So he sent out this lady, servant, maid, concubine, whatever, to go and seduce him. Okay, so here's some soft porno here. She goes there, she sees him, and, you know, he's with the animals, drinking the water, whatever, like an animal. He's beastly with her. So she lays down in the grass and she's, you know, semi-naked, doing her thing, trying to seduce him. He falls for it, and he lays with her, whatever. And the animals don't want to know him anymore because he's lost his animalism, his scent, whatever. So off he goes with this chick to Gilgamesh, right, the kingdom, to the king, and then they have a bit of a go. But this Gilgamesh really likes this dude, you know, and he becomes his best friend, all that sort of stuff. And then they venture out and they go to this forest, and there's this demon of the forest, monster thing, protector, whatever, created by the gods, right? So they go there and they battle it, and one of them's having doubts. I think it's the old man, and but they keep battling it, and then they finally slay it, cut its head off, right? And they venture back to the kingdom, do whatever, right? The gods find out that these two slaughtered their prize beast guardian of this forest, right? Protecting the cedars and all this other stuff. You've got to read the story, you know, to get somewhat be making some slight mistakes. But to err is human, to forgive is divine. Anyway, yeah, so the gods get angry and say, right, someone's got to pay the price for killing our prized guardian. You know? So eventually Gilgamesh's mate dies, right? And he's all sad and weepy and stuff. He misses him so much. But he hears about this guy that survived the flood. Upanatism or something like that. You can check it out on Google. It's like Upanatism or something like that. Yeah, this guy is apparently immortal because he went to the netherworld and he survived and all this stuff apparently. So he went to seek him, secret of immortality and all that sort of stuff. He wasn't originally called Noah. These texts are like thousands of years older than Hebrew version. But see, like these Hebrews, these Judeans from Mesopotamia, they're claiming they're descendants of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, whoever, you know. So what they've done in their captivity, this is what I've studied, researched, whatever, and found, is that during their captivity in Babylon, these Jews that got taken and put in exile there, right? While they were there, they adopted the pagan practices of the Babylonians. But what I don't understand is, like, if Babylon was the capital of Mesopotamia, then why they gone back to the land? But then again, I just thought, well, okay, they went to another land, then they went back to there. They were taken captive there, right? Okay, so anyway, eventually Babylon was attacked by the Assyrians. They invaded it, right? And then these Judeans adopted and adapted their language, their traditions, customs, their religious practices, belief system, whatever. And then when they come out of Babylon and went back to Jerusalem, they practiced those things that they adopted it in Babylon. But they've adopted and adapted it. They've changed a few things in the original stories, right? The Assyrian, the Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyrian myths, right? They've changed it. Okay, like this Painting, what his name is. His name changes to Noah. The flood is a global event, you know, affected the whole world. All the animals came to this one place, one ark that Noah built. Right? This guy's got a new name. His name's Noah. I guess because they want to make a more logical, palatable story, you know, that makes sense for future readers, the people, future readers, whatever. However you want to put it. Okay, so, and the flood was like 40 days, 40 nights, whereas in the original it was like 6 or 7 days, and you know, the oceans dried up and they were on the land, all that sort of stuff. So what the hell is going on here? And the Christians are telling you there's the ark, the story, blah 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 blah. It's all true, you know. The Bible doesn't lie, God doesn't lie, like that. You know, this is the pretty ark. Whereas this old man, doing his research, says no, it's a coracle. You know, boats made on a river, and this is what it looks like from the instructions of the Babylonian tablets we put it together, right? And we made it, and this is the thing is round, right? Okay, so obviously again someone's lying to you, deceiving you, right? Putting the wool over your eyes. Okay, so if you think that's a load of rubbish, take the Exodus account, right? Okay, in Egypt you got supposedly, there's many variations, but supposedly, according to Dr. John Henry Clark, I think it is, this black scholar, right, done all this research and stuff like that. He says that in Africa, in Egypt, ancient Kemet, like they were quite clever. Like they had the River Nile, and it used to flood over every now and again, and the soil was very fertile. It comes up from the Nile flooding over it. So they plant all their crops on either side of it. It's very fertile black soil or something like that. Everybody's like an artist and musician and whatever, but they all come together to plant and then to put in the pyramids or the barns or whatever, according to the history. Right? They all work as one unit to do this, right? And they always had plenty. Yeah. Okay. So in Europe, apparently the people there were starving. There's a massive famine all over the place. And they saw that Egypt had always had plenty, so they thought, well, we'll go down there, knock on their door and see if they'll help us out. These what they were called Hyksos, but that's ancient Egyptian or Kemet, right? That says it means kings, foreign kings. Some say shepherd kings, but apparently it means foreign kings, right? These Hyksos region down there, Dr. Henry Clark says that the African people would be like nice and kind, you let them in, feed them, heal them, give them medicine, whatever, treat them like a fellow man. But apparently these idiots in their chariots used to ride up and down all night, make noise and yoo-ha, yoo-ha, they're just like annoying. So apparently King Ahmose the first says, "Oh, stuff this, sick of these idiots. Let's get rid of them." Some were good, so some stayed, but he kicks them out, right? And they go to northern Egypt, which is weird. It's like southern Egypt. Southern Egypt is actually northern Egypt, and they built this kingdom called oh my goodness, in the Hebrew it's called Zion, Avaris. They rule there apparently, or these Hyksos eventually took over and ruled Egypt for 400 years or whatever, and Egyptians got sick of it and kicked them out. Right? According to Dr. Awas or something, an Egyptologist that supposedly stole artifacts and sold them on the market, right? And he got lost his post. But because he was such a top Egyptologist and all the tourists flocked there, the tourism went down the toilet. So they reinstalled him, right? But he's always denied, I didn't steal any of those and all that sort of stuff. They set me up, whatever they lied on. Anyway, apparently he chased. King Ahmose went to destroy this kingdom of these Hyksos, Varus, and apparently died in battle. So his son, in revenge, went there to fight, and apparently he died in battle. So the wife of this king, not Pharaoh, okay, because Pharaoh means house, right? He's not a house. Okay? You could probably use the term the house of, or the house under King Ahmose. But yeah, basically he's the king who sat on the throne. Well, actually, supposedly, according to these Kemet, ancient Egypt followers, the woman was actually the king, and she chose her husband to sit on the throne with her and be king, her king, right? Anyway, he goes. This surviving wife had a 10-year-old son, and he can't go to battle and defeat them because he don't know crap, right? He's not a warrior. He's not a trained for battle. He's not a hardened fighter and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't know nothing. So she trains him up for like 10 or 20 years. And then he goes out there and he battles him, he defeats him, kicks him out of that virus, chases them, over towards the Red Sea there. They can't run anywhere. So he's like slaughtering them and drowning them and stuff like that. And apparently some scribe or whatever has actually carved it into the stone at Luxor or Saqqara. You need to watch one of those videos and you'll see it there. Okay. But then there's variations on that that the wife went to a virus and defeated them and all stuff. Depends on who's telling you the story, Yeah, so so that's a different account of the Jewish Exodus, the Hebrew Exodus, the Israelite Exodus, whatever the account said, right? It's completely different. It's recorded in stone, carved in stone in history, So what the hell's going on here? Then you got Tacitus, the Roman historian, and his book of histories or annals. I've got that book around here somewhere. I think it's book 4 or book 5. He's saying that what he heard was that he gives an account of where these supposed Israelites or Jews came from. He suggests Cyprus or Crete or something, I don't know, Crete or something like that, somewhere else. But apparently they were in Egypt. They had swine, they had pigs, right? And these pigs carried leprosy, and the Egyptian oracles warned the king to get rid of these people and their swine, because this leprosy infection gets out and spreads amongst all the people. It will affect his people, kill off his people, right? So he had to get warning. So he goes boot, kicks them out, right? So they're out in the desert with nothing, no water, no food, nothing, right? Apparently, according to this account. And then all these Israelites are crying in their laps, crying, we got nothing. We need somebody, a leader, to save us. And this Moses, Moses, M-U-S-E-S, wants to be their leader real bad, He's got a hard on for being their leader. So, he comes up with a suggestion. And they say, well, if you can solve this problem, then you'll be our designated leader. So apparently he sees some, I think it's goats or something, coming down the hill, pushing down the hill, and he goes over the top and he sees all this water and stuff, and he saves them, delivers them, and they say, oh, you're our designated leader. So he leads him off into the desert and all this sort of stuff, and he says, don't put your trust in God or any man, because look what happened to us. So they have this, they had that horn, they blow that ram's horn and all that sort of stuff, and then they have this dedication, this Passover, apparently, in memory of what happened there, according to this account. This is very, very different there from what you've been taught at Sunday school again, by Christians. So, what the hell's going on there, If it's historically accurate, if those records that, people have, like Tacitus, the historian, the Egyptians, if it's all carved in stone and it's not bullcrap, then what the hell is going on here? Someone's telling you this big fairy tale, right? Well, it's all basically originally coming from mythical stories. The Epic of Gilgamesh, the Great Flood, the creation story, all that sort of stuff. It's been adopted and adapted by the later Hebrews for different reasons, right? Okay. There's also another problem, like you've got this guy, what's his name? Rabbi Dovia Singer. Toby singer, sorry for my spelling, right? And he holds debates, and he'll tell you these different things, right? He says, like, here, Torah versus New Testament, where they're preserved. Watch Rabbi Toby demonstrate that the church radically altered the Jewish scriptures. Okay? So, some Christian comes at him with all these claims, and he says, well, you've got the Old Testament, the Hebrew.
Across a second tree with a target on it. Again!
You've got the Old Testament and the ancient Hebrew that they speak and they write, they know. Yeah? They know those scrolls, they learn them. They go through a process and they learn the Torah, book of the law, the Mishnah, the Tanakh, all these other things that takes years and years and years. Only they can grasp it, all that sort of stuff, because it's such a long process. Yeah, but they've been schooled in it, right? So some Christian comes up and goes, oh, according to the New Testament, there's a prophecy that in the Old Testament that came true. He goes, no. And then a guy says, well, it does, and this is what it means, and all this sort of stuff. And he goes, no. You don't know how to speak the language. You can't read it, you can't write it. You read those scrolls, so you don't know nothing. It actually says this, right? So there's, but then the Christians will say, oh, well, he's a Jew. They deny that Jesus was the Messiah, all this other claims, right? Okay, so to me, you got the Old Testament, which is very Hebrew, very Jewish orientated, right? It's in their language. It's the history of the Israelites, the Hebrews, whatever, right? In their language, in their script, right? And you've got the New Testament. You've got Christianity that emerged from Judaism, right? And became a sect, right? They came out of Judaism, and then along the way it's been the Greeks got hold of it and wanted a very Greeky flavoured religion, right? So they don't know how to speak the Aramaic or the Hebrew or whatever. They don't, so they just add bits and pieces here and twist it a bit, and it's very Greeky because that's what they want, right? So you get these Christians telling these Jews that this is what it says here is a comparison with that, whereas the Jew, this guy will say, no, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. And he'll give him a rebuttal. So it's made me think, hey, what's going on here, Either this Jew, like the Christian says, it's a lie, of the devil and all that sort of crap. And, the Christians are right in this sort of stuff. But, yeah. You have to go look at the videos and listen to them and come to the realization yourself, right? Okay. There's a lot of bias against Jews. There's a lot of hatred as well, because these guys are really good with money and all that sort of stuff, and everybody blames the Jews for this and that, the wars and the disasters and all this sort of crap. All Jews are, evil, satanic and all this sort of crap. But what people don't realise is it's not them, because these Jews, nice people, Jews, and there's the Zionism movement, which looks like they're the clowns, causing all the problems. Maybe the Jesuits, maybe in association with the church masquerading as the Christian mother church, i.e. the Vatican. Anyway, so basically, hearing this guy say, no, Christianity, you're wrong, what you're talking about, this is what it actually says. You say the devil was a fallen angel, Lucifer, whatever. No, because God creates angels to do his bidding. He doesn't create them with a mind of their own, they go do whatever they want, and create hell and all that sort of stuff. They were created to do his will, right? So another one, a French, a rabbi, Jewish rabbi that had a French accent on another video, he made a suggestion that according to their scriptures, the devil was the rival. It's like he's this angel that created it, never fell, but he was working in conjunction with God. Right? He was very limited, like in the book of Job. Like he could only put on the problems on Job that God allowed the devil to do. He had limited ability, causing him problems. So this Jewish rabbi with this French accent says, well, it's like, you compare it to the film, the original film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? Where there was that guy Slugworth that every time someone got a golden ticket from Wonka's chocolates, right? In the hope that they'll go to the factory and do the tour and whatever, he'd whisper in the air, you get in there and you tell me the secrets. How does he make the ultimate gobstopper or whatever that thing was, blah blah blah, tell me about this secret candy, how does he make it, all the secrets, and I'll pay you handsomely a lifetime for chocolate and money or whatever he was offering to them. You can see on the film he's telling each one to Charlie. So at the end when Charlie is the last kid, right, but he loses because his granddad drank the soda pop and floated up in the air and touched the walls and all that sort of crap, and he violated the contract. Wonka says, etc, 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 so you lose, and that ultimate gobstopper, or whatever it's called, everlasting gobstopper, takes it out of his pocket because he's a good little boy, and he gives it to him and says, here you go, gives it back to him. And then the grandpa's like, oh, how can you do that to a little boy, shatter his dreams and all that sort of crap, And the Wonka's like, and because the kid gave back what wasn't his, that was given to him by Wonka, he says, my boy, you won. He goes, what? He goes, you won, because he was so honest giving the thing back. You won the chocolate, the lifetime supply chocolate. Yep. No, that's not all. You won the whole. He gets to own the whole factory because obviously Willy Wonka's going to get old and die. He can't do it anymore. Who's going to look after the Oompa Loompas? Take care of them. He realised this kid was so honest that he put his trust in him. And he won the major prize. And his old poor family went from scummy rags to instant billionaires, owning a big chocolate factory, looking after these little Oompa, etc, etc. Yeah, so that's what he compared it to. So what the hell's going on, Well, I understand that Christianity was a sect that emerged from Judaism, right? And then they became their own, right? And then they formulated scriptures or twisted scriptures, whatever, to their way of thinking, their advantage, right? And then passed it on, taught it to everybody else, right? So that's why you have the New Testament is basically a Jesus Christian book, right? However many books are around there, and then you have the Old Testament, which is Jewish, the history of Israel, the Hebrews, the Judeans, Arameans, whatever, right? From day zero to the book of Micah, right? And all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, OT for Jews, Hebrews, Israelites, New Testament for the Christian sect that came out of Judaism. Yeah? So Christianity is trying to say that it matches the prophecies in the New Testament match with the Old, because Jesus is referring to the Old. He's going back to Isaiah, stressing the point. Like he'll say, some Christian will come up with a statement about Isaiah 45 or something like that. This proves that the prophecy, Rachel, is the name for the Hebrews, the nation, right? A nation is weeping at the loss of her children, all that sort of stuff. And then it's got it in Matthew, when Herod's supposed to be slaughtered the innocents, or the children under 2, to get rid of this forthcoming Messiah who scared him. He thought, oh, if he's a king, he's going to take over my kingdom and, you know, put me to the sword and all this sort of stuff, right? So he goes and tries to destroy them. So they're saying, well, there you go, that's a prophecy in the Old Testament of what's happening with Herod. You know, there's no record found that I know of that Herod did that mass genocide slaughter. You know, maybe somebody knows something better more than I do, right? So again, they're trying to compare it, match that Old Testament scripture with the New Testament. This guy here says, no, something else happened over there. They all died, or they were killed off by somebody. Right? It's not talking about Herod killing the innocents, all that sort of stuff. Right? And then they say, oh, this something else matches with that. And he says, no, it doesn't, because in the Hebrew it means this. You know, so you're talking about rubbish. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. You see? Yeah? And then you got Christians saying, oh, Revelations, the chip, and the 666, and all this sort of crap, right? But if you have a look at this, Aramaic New Testament and Revelations, the translation of Revelations, it actually, well, I looked at this guy's website, right? And he's got he's interpreted it as the city of desolation, Germany, World War II, right? And then the talons falling on the people's heads. The talons, what? Coins? They fall on the people's heads, so they hide in the caves and all this sort of stuff. The verse says, he says that's bombs falling on the city, on the people, and killing them, and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then there's this dispute over the beast, the 666, and all this. Some say it's Trump, some say it's Reagan, Willy Wonka, you know, whatever they come up with, you know, try to put it. They say, oh, the Greek says in the evangeline, or whatever, XXX, whatever, this is Reagan, this is Trump, you know, all this sort of stuff. When it's not. It's like beast is a nation, symbolic for a nation, but there is that beast man, you know, anti-man. Okay, so I come to this idea that you got Aleister Crowley, who basically did whatever he wanted. He got into so many different things, and he started this occult movement, right? Well, there's different occult movements that he did. But when he was a kid, because he was such a brat around him, his mother said, "You are the beast of Revelations." The beast 666, you know. So he said, "Oh, okay, cool." He adopted that. Yeah, I'm the beast. I'm the Antichrist of Revelations. You know, and that's what he became. So who do you blame? You blame the parent, saying, a hardened Christian lady saying, "You are the beast of Revelation 666." So again he became that. So he's pulling all these signs and all this crap, saying do what you will, but hey, watch out, it has consequences, right? And then like in the modern age, you're getting all these people like Marilyn Manson, Lady Gaga, and all that, pulling that stuff. Just they're stirring crap, you know. They're trying to get people like, oh, start to get people talking. They could be in that Illuminati, but I've watched videos that says nah, they ended, blah blah blah. There is no Illuminati, but the guy that said it could be in the Illuminati. Well, I think he said he was in the Illuminati or whatever, but there's no more, so they could be full of crap. You know? It could be just the cover to throw you off. But they pull these signs and Bieber and all them, and do these signs, you know, like, all this sort of crap, you know. And then people say, conspiracy theorists say, oh, on the dollar bill's got, you know, this eye Horus and all this other crap, you know. And the whole YouTube's flooded by that. Yeah, but I think that what's it called? The implants, the chips, you know, the identity thing and all that. Yeah, okay, that's going to happen. That sort of thing, you know, because you're being controlled by the system, you're being fooled, you're being lied to, you know, in different fields, be it history, religion, the media, through music. You're all being manipulated, right? You have to go watch this video on 123 videos, I think it is. What's it called? Yeah, here it is. Revelation, Dawn of Global Government, and there's the link there, and it tells the situation that's gone down in America because of this Agenda 21 and all these sellouts, trying to take their guns and limit them and break down the constitution and all this. Well, here in New Zealand they tried this TPP thing, and they wanted, apparently in this pamphlet I saw, they said that we want to get rid of the constitution, not the constitution, get rid of the Treaty of Waitangi, get rid of that forever. Medicines, increase the price of medicines, so people who really depend on it can't afford it, but they have to have it, so, and all this other stuff. And that's why a lot of these people were protesting on that. We don't want that crap here. So I think maybe this former Prime Minister John Keyes was a failure. So Obama comes over here and tells him off. He leaves office because he's not doing the task, the secret job that Obama wants him to do. So he's a failure. So he puts in an idiot as a replacement in a hurry called John English, who then creates his campaign and his song, right, to get voters, but he breached the copyright. He used Guns N' Roses song without permission. They found out in America, the record company, so they sued him, right, and his party owed $60,000 in reparation because of that idiot, right, and he gets voted out, and a better person, current Prime Minister, gets put in, and what I can see so far, she's a real cool lady. She's done lots of things. Yeah, so so basically I'm trying to find the truth, reveal the truth, gather a whole lot of people there. I get it's like this. If I had a congregation, right, and I had a sign outside, like most churches have a sign outside that says all are welcome, right? But that's a lot of crap. I can guarantee you that if a transvestite walked in and sat in that church just out of curiosity, wanting to know about God, hear about God, to experience it, will end up getting shoved out and told to get lost, because they're a tranny or a known homosexual in the community. Gets kicked out because obviously he's a known homosexual. They boot him out. Or some bum wanders in looking for some sort of help because he's smelly and dirty. Well, they'll kick him out, right? But if I had a congregation of people, right, and my sign said all are welcome, well, to me, all means all, regardless of sex or gender, race, creed, belief or non-belief in a belief system, atheist or whatever, sexual preference. But I'll probably get flack over there, get crap over there, right? All the bagels and scones and shots of blasphemer and all that crap. These different organised religions, like throw you, because you, because I basically see that all people are human. Okay? Again, to err is human, to forgive is divine. But they're all human beings. They got 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, a couple of ears like this, a mustache, a beard, whatever. They're human beings, basically. They just have their faults. Who is that person to point the finger at them going, judging them and whispering them and making false accusations, because of their choice, their free will. That's what the US Constitution is about, isn't it? Like the freedom of speech, the freedom of rights, all this sort of stuff, the freedom to bear arms, from their forefathers. But these factions, like these dirty, evil factions, are trying to get rid of that, so they can muscle in on them and control everybody. That's why I suggest you go watch that film. What was it again? On 123 movies. It's called Revelation: Dawn of Global Government. Yeah. So if I can talk to people, they're from different churches, denominations, belief systems, we can sit down and talk. I'm allowing them to stop and think once in their life, whereas the church won't allow that. They'll say, you must listen to this only, don't, this guy's on the devil, don't be in those sort of discussions, because that's the way they control you, right? So we sit down, have a cup of tea, maybe a scone or a cake or something, chocolate cake, and we discuss, we express our views, our opinions, without bias, without someone judging you, whisper, and saying, oh, look, he's got a fat butt, he's ugly, he's got a pimple on his nose, all those whisperings, all that finger pointing, because again, people are human, and it's time to stop that finger pointing and all the fluff, hype, and bullcrap that's being told and sold you. Yeah, so hopefully these people come to realise through my research, my perspective, understandings, viewpoints, opinion, my manner, whatever, the truth, the real truth, right? Because they don't have the real truth. They say they have the infallible or irrefutable truth, but it's not infallible unless the writer of that text is proven infallible, right? And then his writings have to be proven infallible or irrefutable, right? Undeniable. Like atheists, whoever can debunk it as much as they like, they can't deny it because it's 100% proven, established facts, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I basically would like to start a congregation based around the allowing you to stop and think and ponder and formulate, work it out for yourself without the bias, the prejudice, the hate mongering and the threats, the trickery. Like people come into my house and preaching the word of God, but then they pull a trick. We go get a hamburger, right? Yeah. Some guy I'm thinking of, and you hop in the car, yeah, why shall we get a hamburger? You go to the church. It doesn't look like you can buy hamburgers and fish and chips from here, mate. What's going on? Oh, we'll get that later. Or another time come over, you're discussing something like here. Oh, I've got a friend, he's a Jew, he just came back from Israel, he knows all that stuff that you're talking about. Oh, we go visit that guy. Hop in the car, drive off, end up in the church. Wow, your mate's got a place that looks like a church, bro. Where is he? Oh, don't worry about that, we'll go see him later, It's trickery, it's deceit, right? Well, they come to your door at it's around Christmas, right? Knock on your door, hello, ho, ho, Merry Christmas, how are you doing? God bless you, with a box of chocolates. I clicked it. Several people came and did that, on a Christmas basis, every Christmas. Knock, here's some chocolates, ho, ho, ho. Gee, thanks, bro. Take them and shut the door. Daughter says, oh, you are damn rude, No. He just came over, gave the chocolates. I took the chocolates, said thank you, and shut the door. Because I know it's his key in. See, that's the way he gets in. He's like a vampire, man. You can't come in the house unless the owner of the house invites the vampire in. And once the vampire's in there, he's like, suck on it. All that sort of stuff, sucks the life out of you. You're psychic vampires, man. You read about that. That's what they are. Anyway, I'm going to end here because I think I'll be talking endlessly. non-stop for about 3 hours. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you ever get to see it on YouTube, do the right thing. As Red Hair Kingpin says, do the right thing and subscribe down below.